I married the cold and untouchable CEO of one of the city's most powerful families in an arranged deal. He looked up at me from behind his desk and said, "No emotions." Then, later, I walked in on him by my closet. He was holding my underwear. Suddenly, lines of text started scrolling across my vision. He never gets to see her, so he has to settle for sniffing what she leaves behind. He's inhaling that for all it's worth. Her, breathes. Mike, what a masterstroke. I bet if she slapped him, he'd probably die from pleasure. This guy pulled every string he could just to make this marriage happen and get his wife home. When is our girl finally going to notice that Mike's entire bedroom is covered in her photos? There Mike was, his clothes a mess. His shirt was open, his abs tight as he moved his hand quickly. Sweat dripped down from his collarbone. He had his head tilted back slightly, his panting breath filling my ears. My lingerie was scattered all around him. I just stood at the bedroom door. Stunned. "Mike, what are you doing?" Hearing my voice, Mike turned his head slightly. There wasn't a trace of guilt on his face for being caught. He just stared straight at me, his eyes dark. I took a few deep breaths, and Mike's panting only got heavier. The comments kept scrolling past my eyes. What could he possibly be doing? It's so hard to guess. Look, our girl is totally stunned. Her face is so red. If she knew that Mike sneaks into her room every night after she falls asleep, I can't even imagine. She's got it good. With those abs, those veins, that panting, once they start, they're never gonna stop. The lines of text left me a little dazed. The sight of Mike was enough to make my heart race. Add in the crazy scrolling comments. And the temperature of my face skyrocketed. My brain was a complete mess. I watched as my pink bra dangled from Mike's well-defined fingers. I walked from the doorway over to his side. I reached out and, hesitantly, slapped him across the face. A crisp sound echoed in the room. Mike's head snapped to the side, and for a long moment, he didn't react. I started to back away in a panic. Those comments were lying, I wailed internally. They said a slap would make him feel good. They said I was the one that got away, his first love. Well, great. I had just single-handedly destroyed the respectful, polite facade of our year-long marriage. I hit Mike. I pissed him off. My limited edition bags and my jewelry were all going down the drain. He was probably going to throw me out on the street any second now. Mike raised a hand and gently touched his cheek. The next second, I saw what looked like the corner of his mouth turn up in a smile. He turned his head to look at me, his voice husky. "Honey. Hit me again." The full color collection of the Chanel 25S Kelly, and a Cartier bracelet, will be sent to your room in a minute. The foot I had been about to use to flee the room froze in place. What else do you want? Getting tired of your car? How about a new one? He then glanced around the room. This house is getting a little old, too. Let me buy you a new one, okay? I looked around the penthouse, located in the most expensive part of City A, and fell silent. Was this the same Mike who was famous for being cold and detached? This was a man who was completely whipped. Could it be that the comments were telling the truth? The comments kept scrolling. LMAO, I knew it. One slap from her and he's in heaven. She uses a basic attack and Mike unleashes his ultimate ability. How could he not be thrilled? He finally marries the girl of his dreams, and she treats him like he's invisible. The man is suffering, but at least he can secretly get a good sniff of her underwear. If only he knew that she's actually been into him for ages. I can't even. The bed might actually collapse tonight. Come on, girl, give us a show. This is the best fanfic plot ever. At this point, I was finally starting to believe it. The fact that I had a secret crush on Mike was something only my best friend and I knew. No one else on heaven or earth knew. My heart pounded as I read the comments, and I stumbled backward. I tripped on the edge of the rug. My whole body started to fall. Mike shot up in a flash and grabbed me. Inertia sent me tumbling right into his arms. My lips crashed into something warm. A soft feeling. Mike let out a muffled groan. I was so nervous I didn't dare move a muscle, not even my mouth. My hands were pressed against his chest. I could clearly feel the warmth of his skin against mine. I don't know how much time passed. Finally, my face burning, I buried my head in Mike's neck and whispered his name. Mike. Then I felt his muscles tense up instantly. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw his ears turn bright red. How much longer are you going to hold me? The grip on my waist suddenly loosened. I pushed him away and cleared my throat, trying to act casual. All right, it's 11 o'clock. You should get to bed. As for what happened tonight, I'll just pretend I didn't see anything. I was about to make a run for it. Then I saw Mike gently lick the spot where I had just kissed him. The faint lipstick smudge left behind only made him look more alluring. I never expected it. Mike looked right at me. He looked pitiful. Honey. Can I sleep in your room tonight? I thought I must be dreaming. Calling me honey this and honey that. Did Mike unlock some kind of wife system? Like his company would go bankrupt if he didn't stick close to his wife, treat her well, and call her honey. Mike had always been known in our circle for being completely uninterested in women. From his personal assistant to his housekeepers. He exclusively hired men. My friends used to tell me to give up on him. Listen to me, my best friend would say. That guy is definitely gay. Her words and the image of Mike looking at me with red-rimmed, pitiful eyes battled in my mind. Somehow, without thinking, I agreed. Fine. I get the bed, you sleep on the floor. Deal. Mike agreed without a moment's hesitation. So fast I didn't even have a chance to change my mind. And just like that, Mike smoothly moved into my room. I watched him quickly bring over a pillow and blanket from his own room. I was starting to feel like that whole pitiful act was just for show. I felt like I'd been tricked by Mike. Not sure. I'll watch him a little longer. Mike acted as if he owned the place. First, he made me a glass of hot milk. Then he set the water temperature for my bath. Finally, he arranged all my skincare products in order from tallest to shortest. I glanced at my phone as the screen lit up with a text from my bestie. Are you here yet? Mike walked over from the vanity. He asked, trying to sound casual, someone's texting you this late? For some reason. I could hear a thick layer of annoyance in his voice. The comments appeared again. He wants to be mad, but he doesn't dare. He just barely managed to get close to his wife. He has no idea she's about to sneak off to a bar and run into her childhood rival who's secretly in love with her. Little Mike is going to get so mad he's gonna speed over there to drag her home. And then she gets taken back and they get it on. See? A man's tears are the ultimate plot device. Hurry up, story, I want to see Mike cry. I want to see him get all possessive with her. Wait, what? My rival is in love with me? That had to be a ghost story. That guy was studying abroad in the UK. We'd been fighting since we were kids. Him having a crush on me? It was more likely he wanted to assassinate me. I couldn't trust these comments completely. I mean, the part about Mike having a crush on me seemed believable. The rest, though? Forget it. I was lost in my happy thoughts. Completely oblivious to Mike's face getting darker and darker. Does his text make you that happy? You're grinning from ear to ear. I snapped back to reality. The atmosphere in the room was chillingly tense. Why was he so moody? Just a minute ago it was all honey this, honey that. Was that just a 1-hour free trial of the good husband experience? We text every day. We talk about everything. Why wouldn't I be happy? The moment I said that, Mike turned and stalked into the bathroom. You're unbelievable. Fine, go be with him then. You don't need me anymore. Hold on. Didn't he just say he was going to run a bath for me? Men are so weird. Isn't chatting with your best friend the happiest thing in the world? How could he even question that? And now he wanted to pack me up and ship me off to live with my bestie. I pulled out my phone and quickly replied to her. Give me another hour. Mike's sleeping in my room tonight. I'm a little tied up at the moment. Oh. And I also kinda forced a kiss on him. She replied with 6 dots. Are you dreaming, girl? Are you saying you actually made a move on that untouchable Ice King? I confidently turned off my screen. I didn't see the next message she sent. Tonight was supposed to be just us, drinks and gossip. But your arch-rival just flew back into the country tonight. His friends are throwing a party and waiting for you. You need to get here and give us all the details of what you two did. I want the spicy version. Half an hour later. I was so tired I was about to fall asleep. The sound of the shower stopped. The slap of slippers on the wood floor woke me up. I felt Mike's presence moving toward me. The bed dipped beside me. Mike adjusted my wild sleeping position and tucked me in. I felt him sit on the edge of the bed for a long time. Suddenly, a warm touch landed on my forehead. In the darkness, I heard him murmur. Please don't be with him. I really wanted to sit up and ask him. Can't a girl have a best friend and a husband? I'm a firm believer in monogamy. I already managed to get him sent abroad. But he heard the rumors that we weren't getting along, so he dropped everything and came back for you. This time, will you choose him, or me? The more I listened, the more it felt wrong. This didn't sound like he was talking about my best friend at all. The description sounded a lot like my rival who'd been shipped off by his family. Could it be that the he Mike was talking about and the she I was thinking of were two different people? The only people in the world who can't see it are you and your dense best friend. Caleb is in love with you. Caleb. My childhood friend and arch-rival. The darkness was quiet for a long time. Mike finally got up and went to his spot on the floor. After I heard his steady breathing, I opened my eyes. I slowly processed what Mike had just said. It matched what the comments said. Which meant if I went to the bar now, I'd see Caleb. And then, according to the comments, Mike would come to the bar and drag me back. I weighed my options. I sat up quietly. Seeing no movement from Mike, I got up, grabbed a coat from the closet, and snuck out of the room. By the time I drove Mike's supercar to our usual bar, it was almost midnight. When I got to the private room number my bestie had sent, the music inside was blasting. I pushed the door open. The man sitting facing the door was casually leaning back on the sofa, gently swirling a wine glass in his hand. The dim light refracted through the liquid, casting a fragmented glow on the bridge of his nose. Caleb. I don't know why, but for the first time, seeing him didn't ignite the usual fire of our bickering. When Caleb saw me, a smirk played on his lips, and the nonchalant look in his eyes sharpened. Emily, you're a hard woman to get a hold of these days. My best friend, Monica, pouted beside him. She's a married woman. She has a husband. Not like a single guy like you. You could visibly see Caleb's brow furrow. The hand holding the wine glass tensed. That sham of a husband is no different from having no husband at all. A friend nearby quickly told Monica to shut up. Caleb's just joking. Emily, come on, sit down. I didn't argue. I was here to confirm something. I sat down next to Monica. What's really going on with you and Mike? She frowned at me. I had rushed out, throwing a large coat over my slinky pajamas. Why are you dressed like that? What if you catch a cold? Was the battle that intense? Is Mike good in bed? I quickly covered her mouth. But her voice was way too loud. The entire room heard her. In an instant, all eyes were on me. Aren't you and Mike just in an arranged marriage? I thought you didn't get along. Caleb's deep voice was directed at me. I scratched my head and turned to glare at Monica. It's not as bad as you all think. Hearing that, Monica got even more excited. Don't they say men are basically over the hill after 25? What about Mike? I just wanted to dig a hole and crawl into it. I could see her mouth still flapping away. I felt like I was already dead inside. Didn't you tell me you forced a kiss on Mike? The sound of a shattering glass suddenly cut her off. The wine glass in Caleb's hand was broken. Whoa, why are you so worked up? Monica grabbed his hand, jumping in fright, but Caleb shook her off. Caleb stared at me, his eyes locked on mine. Is what she said true? Monica was still chattering away beside him. Seriously, can someone handle him? He's been acting crazy all night. Our friends just sat there, afraid to move. Blood from Caleb's hand dripped onto the marble table, spreading into a small pool. Answer me. Is what she said true? The comments started scrolling again. Oh no, I kind of like the childhood rival too. Just two guys? Author, can you rewrite this so she's with Mike on Monwood Friday's Sun and with Caleb on Tuesday or Thursday or Saturday? I really wish I could be her right now. Mike's about to storm in here any second. Get ready for the drama. I wasn't used to this side of Caleb. And you came out dressed like this. It's midnight. Do you know how dangerous it is for a girl to be out alone? Does Mike not care about you at all? The moment he brought up Mike, I instinctively retorted. It has nothing to do with him, The next second, my hand was taken from behind. A cool voice sounded behind me. You're right. Something like this will never happen again. From now on, wherever my wife goes, I go with her. I whipped my head around. Mike had entered the room at some point. I felt too guilty to look him in the eye. The room was silent for a few seconds. Mike picked up a bottle of wine from the table, chose an empty glass, and poured it half full. As for the question you just asked. Mike glanced down at me. I'll answer for her. It's true. Mike raised his glass towards Caleb and swirled it. Want to hear the details? Caleb shot to his feet. The atmosphere was electric with tension. Our friends came over to mediate. Come on, guys, we're all out to have a good time. My simple-minded bestie obviously hadn't expected things to turn out this way. She was frantic. And she came up with another terrible idea. Why don't we play truth or dare? Everyone has to tell the truth. Caleb looked at me and finally sat back down. Fine. Mike pulled me to sit on the two-person sofa furthest from Caleb. I snuck a glance at his tense jawline. My fingers were twisted into knots. I secretly tugged on the corner of his shirt. Mike ignored me. The comments were flying across the screen. Mike finally stood up for himself in front of his wife, but he'll be back to his soft self after they get it on. She ditches her handsome husband at home to sneak out and see her childhood friend. She's in for it now. OMG, can they just stop with the misunderstandings and realize they like each other so they can just do it already? Why blame her? She doesn't have a bird's eye view of the situation. During Truth or Dare, she's going to find out she's Mike's one that got away. Their relationship is about to level up. Let's go, I need to see the steamy scenes after this. Too bad for the rival, who's about to leave heartbroken. But later on, he gets completely tied down by the dits, Monica. One is clueless and the other is a sharp-tongued alpha. Monica snuck a glance in our direction. She mouthed a message to me with exaggerated lip movements. Is he good? I looked down at my hand, which was only brave enough to clutch a tiny corner of Mike's sweatshirt, and gave her a tiny nod. The moment I did, I heard what sounded like a cold laugh from Mike. I shot my head up and saw Mike's lips pressed into a thin, tight line. She pointed at Mike, then glanced back at Caleb. Both men looked furious. Monica was helpless. Caleb and I had grown up together, and after I met Monica, the three of us often hung out. Over time, she started to get away with murder around Caleb. But Monica is a sweet, cute little cupcake. Caleb was used to bickering with me the moment we saw each other. But with her, Caleb was surprisingly agreeable. In Caleb's eyes, I was a monster. In my eyes, Caleb was a sharp-tongued alpha male. Two people who could never coexist in a million years. But the comments said Caleb had a crush on me. My first reaction was that the comments were all fake. I was going to just ignore them. But then Mike said the same thing when he thought I was asleep. I had no choice but to follow the script laid out by the comments. As the female lead mentioned in the stream, I came to the bar. I wanted to know if Mike's feelings for me were real or not. And if I really was, as the comments suggested, the main character of a book, destined to live out a predetermined plot. If so, were everyone's feelings and existence just fabricated, not real at all? I hadn't even told Mike how I felt yet. I suddenly felt a wave of panic. I instinctively leaned closer to Mike. The deep, pine scent on him calmed me a little. Then I saw the corner of Mike's tightly pressed lips twitch upwards into a smile. Damn, he's loving this. His wife is throwing herself at him. He's about to pass out from sheer joy. She's so well behaved in front of Mike, it's hilarious. In front of Caleb, she's a roaring lion. Caleb never in his life imagined Emily had such a girly side. There's a lid for every pot. Caleb's met his match in Monica. Seeing the situation had drastically improved, I pressed my advantage. I snuggled up to Mike's face. I hugged his arm and shook it. Don't be mad. Please, honey. Instantly, Mike's entire face, from his neck to the tips of his ears, turned bright red. He whipped his head around to look at me. What did you call me? Can you say it again? I knew it. When I make a move, I get the man. I cleared my throat and sat up straight. Mike was still looking at me with puppy dog eyes. For some reason, my own heart was pounding. We'll talk when we get home. Then I shot Monica a sly okay sign. Over on her side, with the help of our friends, she had managed to calm Caleb down. Monica pointed a finger at Caleb's nose. You say one more mean thing, and I'll tell your parents and have them drag you back to the States tonight. Caleb looked at her and rubbed his forehead. Fine, you win. You keep my secret, and I'll do whatever you say. I'll buy you that new Chanel bag tomorrow, the one you posted on your feed. I'll have it sent to your house as an apology, okay? If I had threatened Caleb like that, he would have aired all my dirty laundry. I really wanted to start a fight with him right now. Just to make him see what was right in front of him. Caleb had never used that kind of placating, kid-glove tone with me. But he didn't realize that when it came to Monica, he always gave her whatever she wanted. The comments were hysterical. He was acting so tough just now, and now he is apologizing to his future wife. Caleb hasn't even figured out his own feelings yet. He mistakes his habit of being around the main character for love, but he's ignoring the fact that the clueless bestie has been by his side all along. He has no idea how much he caters to her. Just wait until the bestie gives up on him. He'll finally realize his feelings and have to grovel to win her back. Monica nodded with satisfaction. Just then, the truth or dare card game we ordered arrived. We all gathered around the big marble table. The first few rounds were boring. Everyone just went through the motions. The two men were lost in their own thoughts. I was trying to figure out how to get Mike to talk. Monica, on the other hand, was all ears, her eyes sparkling as she soaked in the gossip. From which socialite ran away with a poor guy and cut off her family, to whose dog peed in their closet. Finally, Mike drew a truth card. How many people have you kissed? When was the last time you kissed someone? The moment the card was read, all eyes in the room turned to Mike and me. Mike was silent for a moment. Then he asked, Does it count if I was the one being kissed? The moment he said that, my face turned beet red. Monica burst out laughing. No way. Mr. Big Shot CEO, did Emily really force a kiss on you? For the first time, on Mike's usually stoic face, I saw a hint of shyness. Oh my God, my handsome husband. He's got that flustered husband vibe down. Yes, I'm eating good tonight. Mike is both sweet and dominant. It's like getting two husbands in one. I can't even imagine how amazing that is. I've only kissed one person. The last time was 3 hours ago. In Emily's room. Hearing my name come out of Mike's mouth, I don't know why, but it felt incredibly good. I suddenly understood the answer to the question I'd been agonizing over. It didn't matter if I was just a character in a book. It didn't matter what the plot had in store. The people around me right now, Mike, my best friend, all my friends, they were real. So, the present moment was real. I shyly buried my head in Mike's shoulder. Ooh, look at the lovebirds showing off. Our friends were all teasing us. Who says arranged marriages can't have real feelings? They're just good actors. Caleb let out an ill-timed, cold laugh. You think I don't know Emily? She never acts like a woman in front of a guy. This whole shy, girly act is just for show. Everyone knows that in an arranged marriage, you have to pretend to be a happy couple in public, or it'll look bad. That was it. I couldn't hold back anymore. Caleb, you think every guy is as obnoxious as you? You start insulting people the second you see them. You don't know my husband. I held up my fingers and ticked them off one by one. He's 6 feet 1 inch, has an 8-pack, is worth at least 10 figures, was the most popular guy in high school, gives me whatever I want, and has such a good temper that if I used him as a punching bag, he'd say, "Great job, honey." I thought back to what I accidentally felt in the bedroom tonight. It was pretty big. I added another point. And most importantly, he's packing 8 inches. What do you have that's better than my husband? Caleb's face grew darker with every word I said. And when he heard the 8 inches part, he completely lost it. You've tried it? How do you know he's 8 inches? I shot back stubbornly. How would I not know? I added, I felt it tonight. The words were barely out of my mouth when I felt a burning gaze on my back. Oh, crap. I lose all control when I get into an argument with Caleb. The comments were dying of laughter. Caleb's ego is shattered. I'm dead. I can feel Caleb's eyes darting between his own package and Mike's, trying to compare. This is hilarious. Could it be that our Emily just doesn't act girly in front of you? She has a perfect body and a cute personality, she's plenty feminine. In my next life, I want to be a guy and get close to her. A psycho like Caleb can only be handled by a thick-skinned bestie like Monica. I'm already laughing just thinking about what Monica's going to say next. I glanced at the comments. The next second, Monica carefully snuck a peek at Caleb's crotch. She said, hesitantly, "Small is cute, too." I don't mind. The entire room fell into a dead silence. Caleb's eyes widened, then squeezed shut, then widened again as he stared at Monica, who was standing beside him like she was in detention. He looked like he had lost all his strength. "If you don't say another word, I'll buy you that bag, okay?" I finally couldn't help but laugh out loud. Caleb, you had this coming. Scared into submission by Monica's comment, Caleb huddled in the corner of the sofa and didn't move. At that inopportune moment, a notification popped up on Mike's phone. His phone was on the table. The moment the screen lit up, his lock screen wallpaper was visible to everyone. The picture showed a girl in a high school uniform, sound asleep at her desk. The afternoon sun shone on her high ponytail, making the ends of her hair glitter. Caleb shot to his feet. "Mike, are you cheating on her?" Monica's sharp eyes noticed something. She reached out and pulled Caleb back down onto the sofa. "Emily, why does that hair tie look so much like the one I gave you?" Caleb, a bit slow on the uptake, added, "And that person looks a lot like Emily." After half a minute, it was as if Caleb remembered something. "That is Emily. I remember that day. I asked you to come over to my house for lunch, and you refused, saying you had to take a nap at school. I wonder who had you so bewitched." I thought back. I remembered. That day, Mike had been kept after school by our homeroom teacher to help with something. To have a chance to be alone with Mike for a little while, I had cruelly refused the delicious food at Caleb's house. I ended up starving all afternoon. But I fell asleep from hunger and exhaustion before Mike even came back. Oh. So you rejected me that afternoon because Mike was there, right? And then Mike secretly took a picture of you while you were sleeping. Caleb started clapping his hands. What a beautiful story of a mutual secret crush. It's so touching. I rushed back from abroad because I heard you two weren't getting along. I must have been crazy. I'm taking the first flight back to the States tomorrow morning. Emily, if he doesn't treat you right, don't come crying to me. Mike, sitting on the sofa with his arm around my waist, looked up calmly. Don't worry. I won't give her a single second of regret. I didn't argue with Caleb this time. Caleb picked up his car keys from the table, glanced at the game cards, and swept them off. To hell with this. The main couple finally knows how the other feels, but I kind of feel bad for Caleb. It's for the plot. Caleb's role as the second male lead is to push the main couple's relationship forward. With our dorky bestie by his side, he'll figure out who he really likes soon enough. Monica chased after Caleb. Before she left, she gave me a wink. Don't worry, I'll handle Caleb. You two go home and have fun. If you break the bed, I'll buy you a new one. By the time we got into Mike's car, the blush on my face still hadn't faded. The shy Mike I saw in the private room seemed like a figment of my imagination. Now, the way he looked at me was deep and intense. His voice was husky. I'll take you home. You're not coming home? I asked anxiously when I heard that. Hearing the tone of my voice, Mike leaned back in his seat and turned his head to look at me. A hint of a smile was in his voice. You want me to come home with you? I stammered, yes. Mike's gaze on me grew darker. Do you know what will happen when we get back? He moved closer, speaking each word slowly. The unique, deep pine scent of him enveloped my senses. Every breath I took was filled with him. What will happen? Mike suddenly leaned in close to my ear. A warm sensation brushed against my earlobe. He took my hand and guided it under the hem of his shirt. He moved it down along his abs. Until I felt a burning heat. I tried to pull my hand back, but he held it tight. It's reacting. Mike lifted his head from my neck. My breathing was already ragged and broken. Mike lifted my chin, his thumb caressing my lips. Can I kiss you? The buzzing of a phone shattered the thick atmosphere in the car. I opened my eyes, breathing heavily. Mike let go of my hand and picked up his phone. In my peripheral vision, I saw the profile picture of the sender. It was a text from his male assistant. Mike sat up straight, his brow furrowed. I straightened my clothes and asked with some concern, "What's wrong?" Mike reached out and stroked my hair. "It's nothing. I'll take you home. You be good and stay home for a few days. I have something to take care of." I looked at him with pleading eyes. You're going to leave me at home alone again? This is the last time. From now on, I'll make you hot milk every night, make your bed, and warm it up for you. I was about to nod and agree. Then the comments suddenly appeared. No, don't. You have to stick to him like glue, or this will be the last time you see him. They're going to be separated right after finally getting together. My poor babies, I hate the author. There's a huge tragedy coming up. Don't agree to let him take you home. If Mike goes to City A alone, he'll get into a car crash and die. This is killing me, don't agree. My movement froze. Mike, are you going to City A? Mike was surprised I would suddenly ask him that. He was stunned for a moment. How did you know? I didn't say anything else. Drive. I'm going with you. Mike tried to persuade me. It's so late. It'll be too hard on you to run around with me. I married you so you could have a good life, not to make you suffer. Be good. Go home and get some sleep. I'll be back as soon as I handle things. I stubbornly pointed at the steering wheel. I'm going with you. Mike laughed helplessly. You can't bear to be apart from me, huh? I fought back tears that were about to fall. Yeah. I can't bear to be apart from you. According to the comments, Mike was going to City A to deal with a business deal he'd been working on. The boss of the other company was secretly unhappy with the profit sharing and had been holding a grudge for a long time. This time, he intentionally withheld wages from the workers, causing a massive strike. Then he blamed it all on Mike, saying the parent company wanted to exploit them and wouldn't be paying their salaries. In reality, the money Mike's company had sent was all pocketed by the other boss. In 3 days, the boss would run off with the money, leaving a mountain of debt and angry workers for Mike to deal with. While negotiating with the workers' leader, Mike would be hit by a construction vehicle driven by one of the workers. That worker's seriously ill mother had passed away because he couldn't get her treated in time due to the unpaid wages. He would take all his anger out on Mike. We had just finally figured out our feelings for each other. And because of someone else's mistake, we were going to be torn apart. The thought that I might never see Mike again, the person I had a crush on since my school days, made the tears flow uncontrollably. When Mike saw me crying, he frantically wiped my tears. Please don't cry, okay? When this is all over, I'll take you to buy bags, jewelry, cars, and houses, okay? I couldn't help but throw myself into his arms. Mike. I've actually liked you for a very long time. Did you know that? I was scared. What if I never got another chance to say it? Mike froze. He fumbled, his hands darting between wiping my tears and touching his own nose, looking completely lost. His helplessness made me laugh. I know now. Mike suddenly pulled out his wallet. He handed me all 10 or so of the black cards inside. You just spend. Your husband will earn it for you. The pin for all of them is your birthday, 980623. There were no direct flights from our city to City A. We had to make a transfer. I was so sleepy that I spent the whole time sleeping on Mike's shoulder. I woke up midway and saw my best friend had posted on her social media. I must be crazy, chasing Caleb all the way to the United States. The picture was a candid shot she took of Caleb looking at her with a helpless, furrowed brow. In a rare move, Caleb also posted, "My queen. I have to wait on her for another week. Can't even get mad at her." The picture he posted was of him with Monica at a Chanel store, trying on clothes. I sent Monica a text. "A wild dog needs a leash. You're amazing, girl." She replied instantly. "With a bag. I bought you one, I'll give it to you when I get back." When the plane landed in City A, the sunset clouds were beautiful. I took out my phone and had the assistant take a picture of me and Mike. When we got to the hotel, I went to take a shower first. When I came out, I saw Mike standing by the floor-to-ceiling window, on the phone. "Have you found him yet?" Mike's voice was cold. "Keep looking." I thought for a moment, then walked over and hugged him from behind. "Can you tell me what's bothering you? Maybe I can help you think of something." Mike clearly didn't want me to worry. I had to resort to being cute. "Honey, I'm just looking for someone, and we haven't found him yet." I knew he was talking about the other company's boss. He took my hand and sat me down on the sofa in the suite. He told me the whole story in detail. It was exactly like the comments said. Why don't we start with the workers first, and resolve that potential problem? Maybe we can get some information from them? Mike knew that since they couldn't find the boss, this was the only option. He and his assistant went to contact every worker. When I went with him to see the worker with the seriously ill mother, the moment the man in the hospital room heard Mike's name, he became extremely agitated. He grabbed the glass vase from the bedside table and threw it at Mike. The assistant blocked it. Now I finally understood the benefit of having a male assistant. I walked forward and asked the worker gently, "Sir, is that your mother in the bed?" At my question, the man's eyes filled with tears. "You capitalists. You exploit us and then you come here pretending to be nice? It's all your fault for withholding our wages, my mother couldn't afford her treatment because of you." His hands, rough from years of labor, were covered in cracks. He roared at me. "Go to hell." The moment Mike heard him say that to me, his face darkened. He was about to speak, but I stopped him. I had the assistant pour a glass of water for the worker. "Don't be anxious. Have some water and calm down. I've already paid for your mother's surgery and treatment fees for now." The man looked at me in disbelief. He stormed out of the room. A moment later, he came back into the room and grabbed my hand. "Miss, thank you. You're not like that man next to you. You're a good person." Mike looked like he could kill someone with his eyes. "I told you, it wasn't us who withheld the wages." But the man didn't believe him at all. I then gently took the man's hand and sat him down. I carefully explained the truth of the situation to him. When he heard that his boss was about to run off with the money, he grabbed my hand. "You saved my mother's life. I believe you. If you can't find him, you might want to check the warehouse outside the city. I used to be his driver and went there once by chance." I breathed a sigh of relief internally. I looked up and had the assistant go check. "I'll go with you guys. I remember the way. The place is on a mountain and very remote." The man rubbed his hands together, wiped them on his clothes, and then reached out to shake my hand again. "You saved my mother's life. I'll do my best to talk to the other workers for you." I watched the man leave the room with the assistant. Mike was still staring at me with a stern face. I used my finger to push up the corners of his mouth. "Smile." Mike followed my command and forced a pained smile. I followed Mike to the underground parking garage and got in the car. The moment he got in, he couldn't help but lecture me. "You went to talk to him by yourself. What if he had smashed that vase on you? I knew I shouldn't have brought you. What would I do if you got hurt?" I ruffled Mike's hair. "But I'm fine, right? I am fine, and Mike is fine. I care about you. I don't want anything to happen to you. I want you to be safe and sound." I took out the matching couple's bracelets I had snuck out to buy in City A during the day. I tied one onto Mike's wrist. "This is the leash I'm putting on you. Once it's on, you're tied to me for life." Mike looked at me deeply. "Okay." With this major issue resolved, I felt a huge weight off my shoulders. Mike would be safe, and we would always be together. It was very late when the plane landed back in our city. On the drive home, we got a call from the assistant. They had found the other company's boss. He would take care of the follow-up. Mike nodded. Just as the assistant was about to hang up, he suddenly spoke. "As for the workers, give each of them some extra compensation. Use my personal account." I looked at Mike with surprise. He hung up the phone. "From today on, I have to always remember, I'm a married man now. When I'm out, I'll try my best not to get into conflicts with others, so I don't make my wife worry." July 16, 2025, at 8:19 p.m. I promise I will never make Emily worry about me again. I will listen to my wife in all things. I nodded with satisfaction. Mike. Mike's hands were on the steering wheel. The evening breeze from the elevated highway blew in through the window. Mike's voice, softened by the wind, landed in my ear. "Here." I called him again. "Mike." He responded indulgently, "Here." The car stopped in the garage. The temperature inside the car began to climb. I was dizzy from Mike's kisses. His hands roamed freely. In no time, my clothes were a complete mess. The long-lost comments reappeared. What are they going to do next? It's so hard to guess. I've been waiting for so long. Is the moment we've all been waiting for finally here? I want to see just how long Mike's 8 inches can last. She's going to be so sore she won't be able to get out of bed for 2 days. Young people just have so much energy. She's finally going to find out that Mike's bedroom is covered in her pictures. Mike's breath was ragged as he pulled my hand downwards. He stopped by my ear and whispered in a low, husky voice. What should I do? It's reacting again. I shyly buried my face in his chest. I took the key from his wallet. Then let's go home. Mike carried me all the way to his room. And I finally discovered it. Something I had never noticed in all the time I'd been married to Mike. His bedroom was covered in pictures of me. From all different times, in all different poses, with all different expressions. I still had so many things I wanted to ask him. But we had a lifetime ahead of us. The moment the bedroom door locked, he pressed me against the wall and kissed me deeply. I've wanted to do this to you for so long. Every day I see you, I want to pull you into my room. And kiss you in my room. Kiss you hard. Coming up for air, he carried me over to the floor-to-ceiling window. In front of me was the cool touch of the glass. Behind me was the burning heat of Mike's body. He grabbed my hand and placed it on the glass. Under the moonlight, my mind went hazy from the intense movements behind me. I vaguely saw Mike slip something onto my ring finger. When he finally slowed down, I saw it in the moonlight. The ring Mike had put on my finger. In my ear, he whispered again and again. Emily. I love you.